The Young and the Restless spoilers. Claire's drunken Ferrari crash disaster. Newman family chaos ahead. Claire Newman's spiral continues as her binge drinking with Holden Novak threatens to explode into tragedy. Could a drunken decision lead to a Ferrari crash that pulls Nikki, Victor, Kyle, and the rest of the Newman family into explosive drama? Today's breakdown explores Claire's downward spiral, Kyle's lies, Holden's influence, and why Nikki's prized Ferrari could be the vehicle that drives the next big Newman family disaster. When it comes to the Newman family, drama is always parked right outside the front door, and this time it could be parked in the driveway with Nikki Newman's Ferrari. The latest Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that Claire Newman's drinking habits may spin completely out of control, setting the stage for one of the most shocking accidents Genoa City has seen in years. Claire has been through plenty in her short time back on the canvas, but her current emotional state is teetering on the edge. She's angry, she's hurt, and she's making reckless decisions that could destroy not only her future, but also her fragile place in the Newman family. Claire's emotional unraveling. Claire's relationship with Kyle Abbott is the root of much of her turmoil. From the beginning, Kyle and Claire were always a bit of an odd pairing. He carried baggage from his past with Audra Charles, and Claire, desperate to prove she was worthy of Newman loyalty, threw herself into the relationship as if love alone could erase Kyle's history. But the cracks are now wide open. Kyle lied to Claire about his interactions with Audra during their time in Nice. He covered up truths, played down his connection, and even after admitting to lying, Kyle had the audacity to propose marriage. Instead of building trust, Kyle destroyed it, leaving Claire to question everything she fought for. And let's not forget, Claire fought hard for this relationship. She defended Kyle to Victor, stood her ground against her family's skepticism, and tried to build a foundation despite the shaky history. Now, all of that effort feels wasted, and Claire is left wondering if Victor's doubts about Kyle were right all along. Holden Novak's influence. Enter Holden Novak, a wild card in Claire's story. Nathan Owens brings Holden to life as a charming, enticing presence who seems to arrive whenever Claire needs an escape. The problem? That escape usually comes in the form of alcohol. Every time Claire is around Holden, drinks flow as freely as their conversations. Vespers seem to be their poison of choice, and Claire isn't showing any signs of slowing down. Instead of being the supportive influence she needs, Holden is enabling her worst impulses. And while Holden has agreed to help Claire deal with the Audra problem, his presence might be causing more damage than good. By encouraging her reliance on him, and by extension, alcohol, Holden could be leading Claire down a dangerous path of addiction. Nikki's Ferrari, a symbol of trouble. Now, here's where things get even more dramatic. Nikki Newman's Ferrari has become almost its own character on the show. It's been mentioned repeatedly since Victor gave it to her, popping up in conversations across the family. That kind of attention in So Planned is never accidental, it's foreshadowing. Nikki is proud of her Ferrari, and she's been protective of it, though curious family members have asked to borrow it for a spin. With Nikki warming up to Claire and even moving her up within the Newman Enterprises ranks, it's not unthinkable that she might finally hand over the keys as a gesture of trust. But what happens if that trust is broken in the worst possible way? A drunken Claire behind the wheel could lead to disaster, both for the car and for the family's already fragile dynamics. A night of bad decisions. The spoilers tease the possibility that Claire might convince herself she's sober enough to drive. Anyone who's ever battled with or known someone struggling with alcohol knows that "I'm fine to drive" is one of the most dangerous lies you can tell yourself. One night of heavy drinking with Holden, one impulsive decision to take Nikki's Ferrari for a ride, and suddenly Genoa City is staring down the barrel of a tragedy. Whether Claire wrecks the Ferrari, injures herself, or even crashes into Nikki, the fallout would be devastating. And let's not forget the symbolism here. Nikki herself has battled alcoholism for decades. She knows firsthand the dangers of drinking and driving. For Claire, her granddaughter, to repeat that same destructive cycle while behind the wheel of Nikki's prized possession would be a cruel echo of history. The Kyle factor. If Claire does go down this destructive path, Kyle Abbott won't be able to wash his hands of it. His lies and emotional games helped push Claire into this fragile state. Proposing marriage in the middle of their trust crisis was tone-deaf at best and manipulative at worst. When the accident happens, or even if it's just narrowly avoided, Kyle will be forced to confront the role he played in driving Claire to this breaking point. His connection with Audra continues to haunt the relationship, and if Claire ends up in legal or medical trouble, Kyle's loyalty will be put to the test. Will he step up and take responsibility, or will he fall back into his old pattern of excuses and self-preservation? Either way, his actions will have ripple effects for both the Newman and Abbott families. Nikki and Victor's wrath. The fallout from a Ferrari crash wouldn't just land on Claire's shoulders. Nikki and Victor are notoriously protective of both their family and their possessions. Nikki may love her granddaughter, but wrecking the Ferrari would cut deep, not just financially, but emotionally. Victor, meanwhile, has always kept a wary eye on Claire. While he's allowed her into the family fold, his trust is conditional. If she were to jeopardize Nikki's safety, destroy the Ferrari, or show signs of alcoholism, Victor's patience could evaporate instantly. He might push to cut Claire off entirely, undoing all the progress she's made to prove her loyalty to the Newmans. A generational cycle of addiction. What makes this storyline especially compelling is its generational undertone. Nikki's battle with alcohol has been one of the most enduring parts of her character's history. For Claire to follow in those footsteps is more than a dramatic plot twist. It's a reminder of how cycles of addiction can repeat within families. Viewers who've watched Nikki's struggles over the years will see the tragedy in Claire's choices. Instead of learning from her grandmother's pain, Claire is repeating it, risking not only her life, but the lives of others. This sets the stage for powerful emotional storytelling. Imagine Nikki confronting Claire, heartbroken that her granddaughter is making the same mistakes she fought so hard to overcome. Imagine Victor stepping in with his classic no-nonsense attitude, demanding Claire get her life together. These are the kinds of scenes that remind us why The Young and the Restless is such a staple of daytime drama. Could the accident change everything? If Claire crashes the Ferrari, the fallout could reshape multiple storylines at once. For Claire, it could mark the start of a battle with addiction, forcing her to reckon with her choices and fight to earn back her family's trust. For Nikki, it could reopen old wounds about her own alcoholism while testing her ability to forgive. For Victor, it could solidify his doubts about Claire, possibly leading him to cut her off or demand she enter treatment. For Kyle, it could expose just how much damage his lies have caused and force him to choose between standing by Claire or letting her face consequences alone. For Holden, it could put him under scrutiny, revealing whether he truly cares for Claire or is simply enabling her destruction. This isn't just a single night gone wrong. It's the kind of storyline that could ripple across Genoa City for months, pulling multiple characters into its orbit. The brewing storm in Genoa City. At the end of the day, Claire's drunken spiral and Nikki's Ferrari aren't just about one reckless night. They represent a brewing storm that threatens to engulf the Newman family in scandal, heartbreak, and betrayal. The Young and the Restless has always thrived on high-stakes family drama, and this storyline has the potential to be one of the most explosive arcs of the year. A drunken crash, a family legacy tested, and a new generation repeating old mistakes. It's the perfect recipe for soap opera chaos.